dick wet.
Wake the fuck up. It's time to talk business. Jared Taylor, Matt Best, and Evan Hafer proudly present Blackhearted. Sponsored by BlackRifle Coffee Company and Arson Wave.
Whoa! As always, we thank Arson Wave for that amazing intro music. They're super dolls. They're awesome, man.
Talented bunch.
Pensacola, Florida. Just banging on guitars. Well, today we got two special guests. We have Streetbike Tommy
Sup.
and Crum. Is that what we're
Good. Yeah,
are we going with Crum today?
That's my name.
That's my name.
Do we use that one at all times?
Yeah.
All right, I like that. Your Instagram says different.
What's your Instagram?
It's got your full name there.
It says
so I don't-
Instacrum.
Instacrum.
Yeah. At AaronSavage.com.
Oh, well, today we are going to talk about making money in action sports. Does that exist?
Well, we're actually here to. We're hoping we can gain some of your wisdom and learn how to actually do this.
So we'll start with you guys. You guys tell us your history in this whole thing, like just from the beginning.
I'll let Crum start because he was first.
He was first?
Yeah.
He was first. Crum's the
Were you there
oldest.
the infamous day?
Were you there?
No, he was not there the day that I
It's one
got
of my-
my wings.
The day
It's one of
that-
my favorite videos on the internet, by
Yeah.
the way.
It-
It's like one of my favorites.
One of the top downloads,
Yeah.
2006.
yeah.
Were you?
Which in internet years is like 100 years ago.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like
Were
1,000
you-
years
were you-
ago.
Yeah.
2006?
There was only like 4 viral videos that year.
I was one of them.
The word viral wasn't even invented.
there was 4 people on the internet.
You're welcome.
Al Gore, because he was inventing it.
Yeah, there was no spam filter in emails.
Oh,
That
God.
didn't exist.
I wish I was then. I would be at Jason Orvis's house right now.
Like were you just sitting on the bike like fuck it, I'm gonna hit it in third?
Man, no.
Hold on, you've got to give people the context to this story,
Yes,
and please speak up, guys. so
Yeah,
that
yeah, you be the host.
We
here.
do need to give some context to this story. So for those that aren't aware what we're talking about, Streetbike Tommy put himself on the map and created internet history and became a sensation
Just
overnight.
Google Street Bike Tommy.
And then disaster will
fucking
automatically
Now-
fill in.
You will not be disappointed.
Now, how this works is, okay, people started doing all these big tricks on motorcycles. They backflip them and do all these, extravagant aerial maneuvers.
There wasn't a backflip then.
They
It
wa-
was
there-
2006.
Let's
Kerry
back
Hart
up.
did it in 2007.
I could tell this story awesome. But
All right.
But listen, Crum's story's first. I'm
All right, Crumb's first.
Crum's first because Crum came first. Crum was first in Nitro.
We're going
like,
Crumb first.
before
So
Nitro.
We're going Crumb.
So
Crumb out.
you're a true gentleman. You let Crum come first.
Yeah,
I like it.
I'm a giver. I'm a giver.
So the way this works is, I was a young man, and I was like, man, I saw Point Break, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna do that. When I grow up, I'm just gonna like rob banks and not have to have a real job and just do cool shit. And then I realized I didn't really want to rob banks because I was scared. So I was like, I'm not good enough to be a professional athlete. I was like, but I'm good at being like, I'm good at like not being good at stuff.
I'm good at not being good at stuff.
And I was like, I think I can use this to my advantage. I'm just gonna do this. And that's what I did. And luckily for me, Travis Pastrana loves people that aren't good at being good at stuff.
They're fun to watch. This is our job. We're fun to watch because we'll dabble in the professional world, but we have no business doing so, which always ends up
No,
with.
you're the most sponsored non-professional athlete in professional sports.
Man, yeah.
It's true.
That's
I'm
a
victories.
Yeah,
Small
Victories,
that's a
man.
that's a throne.
It's yeah.
So people in the action sports world look at us like we're failures, but we're like, look,
No.
we've succeeded without even being athletes. We must have done something
yeah.
right.
You've done something beyond that. You're not selling your soul to to do a couple backflips.
Yeah, those guys, man, they train way too hard and sacrifice way too much.
You guys just get to drink.
thank goodness.
And we have the bodies for it too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a machine. I'll put it away.
Yeah, I've heard.
I think
I've
that's
heard.
more impressive.
So
I think it's more impressive because
yeah, it is.
what is the story of the guy that's good at that's fucking
Good or bad?
good at
No,
bad.
no. I'm saying you have a professional motocross guy here. It's like, yeah, I got really good at motocross, and then people paid me to do it. Well, that's boring.
It is.
It's very boring.
What's
Yeah.
not boring is how.
We made it. Did we make it though?
Yes,
Nuh-uh.
yes.
Ish.
I could pull up Netflix and Amazon and watch both of you for hours.
It's true.
Yeah, but
You
pull
can.
up my bank account. It's not that sweet.
Well, I mean, it all depends on how you define you made it. You know,
Yeah.
like there's a dude sleeping on the side of a sidewalk downtown in the snow in Salt Lake, going, "I made it." Fucking made it.
You
man.
saw me and
I'm
Tommy
not
last
dead.
night.
I'm not dead. I'm not dead. I
I'm
made
not
it through
dead.
the evening.
I made it
I
through
made
the
it.
evening.
You
So-
are you talking about me and
it
Crum
just-
after we passed out the bodega last night? Had to get the truck this morning.
That did happen. I did throw up in the bar.
So how
True
did you?
story.
Yeah, how did you meet? How did you meet
So the way it really happened
Travis
is
and Greg
for,
and the
for
crew?
all the listeners is Streetbike Tommy and I are action sport personalities. We're professional entertainers.
Hosts. You're hosts. You're natural at
Now,
being in front of a camera.
When we were young, we were like, I want to be famous now. I want to do some cool shit. And then we realized it was a lot of work and you had to train to all this other stuff that's horrible and it's boring. But lucky for us, Travis Pastrana was crazy and started this thing called Nitro Circus. And we were like, I could do that. I'll do something crazy too.
I can do it.
And what happened is we did, and most people just get hurt and they go away. We actually were strong enough and durable enough to keep coming back. And then we were like, they didn't give us any money, but we just kept coming back so much. It was
Beer and
like
T-shirts.
it was like the friend that sleeps on your couch and never leaves, and then pretends
Right.
just lives at the house.
Right.
That's what we did.
Yeah, so there's money to be made in action sports if you have spent your entire life getting to the level of a Travis Pastrana, Josh Sheehan, like top tier athlete. Like you can make money. There's sponsors out there that pay big bucks to have you represent them, but not us. Like we're like mid pack, the entertainment side. So we get paid in product and like these companies, they work with us. They're great. Like I have great relationships with like Traeger, Silencer Co., BlackRifle Coffee, and you get cool shit. Like I don't have to spend my money to get the things that I want because these companies will support us with product and the days of social media drives that. Like with my numbers, that's the attraction to me.
I would almost think it like if certain brands would be opposite, where they would pay, they more than likely would pay you more because you're more in front of the camera. Like yeah, you've got a no-faced person with a helmet on and full gear doing a cool trick, but who's standing there once the camera pans out making everybody laugh?
It's hard to explain that to the powers that be. Hey, what do you do? I don't know. I'm a hell of a billboard.
I make people remember my name.
Yeah.
That's what you say.
Yeah. I'm the reason why that every fat dude with a beard gets called Streetbike Tommy.
Really?
Yeah. Dude,
That's funny.
you have any idea how often I'm in totally different places?
It's funny.
Oh,
I thought
yeah.
this was Streetbike Tommy.
See? But, like, no, he's not fat enough.
He's not. He's
What?
not.
Dude,
yeah.
you're like,
I'm not fat enough.
You got to work
guy's
on your
fit. You
holiday
You gotta
body.
work. You gotta train, bro.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of.
Yeah.
This is one idea I've always wanted to do. Talk about making money in action sports. I realized it's not going to work, so I should come up with some TV show concepts. This was my whole concept. It's called The Biggest Winner. And what it is people go to see who can get the fattest.
Yeah.
Like, you get a group of guys together.
Biggest winner.
And like you got 6 little skinny guys or girls or whatever, and they
I
get one
like
coach,
that.
one big fat coach, and like they have to play video games and eat fucking M&Ms and like peanut butter and donuts and Twinkies and don't exercise and don't move.
Dude,
and
I would
whoever
do
can get the
corn nuts
fattest
and mayonnaise
in
every day.
6 weeks, who can get the fattest wins.
I love that.
And then what they win, this is the coolest thing, they get to be on The Biggest Loser.
Yeah. I like that.
So you don't even that's the reward. They get to be on, like,
Yeah.
You've had a TV show though. What
I
was
have.
that called?
Which one?
Which one?
There's been a
one,
few.
Let me-
yeah, the Thrillbillies.
Thrillbillies, yes.
Thrillbillies.
Yeah.
Fuel TV, they're
Yeah.
no longer with us anymore. The networks are all dying, as everyone knows.
Like a dying star.
God,
We did
yeah.
3 seasons of Thrillbillies.
That's still three
He's
seasons.
being,
Thrillbillies.
he's being modest. He keeps saying we, but that was literally Crum's baby. Like,
What people don't know is I was actually director, camera operator, host, stuntman, and
Seriously?
set
Yeah,
design.
straight up.
Holy shit!
Straight up.
And I made $300 a day.
That's real talk. Real talk.
That's
Oh
real
my
talk,
God.
homie.
That makes me sad. You would make more on doing that for YouTube now, just with ad money.
We didn't know about that yet.
This is in prehistoric times, man. This is
I
like 10
know.
years ago.
This is
Really?
this
What
is
year was that? Thrillbillies.
6-ish, yeah, 2007,
like-
2008.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was about 8-9 years
Yeah,
ago.
to change the channel, you still had to like push down on a giant box.
It
that
was
had
before there
100
was iPhones. Let's just go. That's
Yeah.
it was
I don't remember
Before
that
iPhones.
time.
I
I
don't.
don't remember that time. That
Yeah.
time didn't exist.
exactly.
It's like it doesn't exist. There's no such thing as that time.
So yeah, how did you meet Travis?
Bad luck.
Bad luck.
Bad luck.
Good decisions.
I met Travis actually before the first Nitro Circus movie. It was a movie called Global Addiction. This is back before iPhones too, and you actually bought. You didn't have DVDs. You bought
I bought
actual
VHS
VHS tapes,
tapes.
and you'd
Yeah.
watch people do cool shit. And I was like, man, if I could just be in one of those videos,
I was-
everything will come true for me.
The only one waiting in line to buy the movie Haggard, the day it came out.
Oh man.
Was that on Merle Haggard?
That's
no,
not-
no,
no,
It's
no, no.
Bam Margera's movie.
Yeah. And
I
that was
thought-
one of
I
his
thought-
later movies.
I thought there was going to be a line, so I showed up early, right when Zoomies opened up, and then they were like, "Wait, why are you waiting out here?" I'm like, "I thought there was going to be a line for Haggard."
Bullshit.
oh man.
So what happened is one of my good friends was actually the guy that filmed stuff, the cinematographer, the director of photography, whatever you might call him. And I was just one of those drunk crazy people at the bar, and he was like, "Oh, I got a job for you, dude. We need this guy to like do stupid shit and make an ass of himself, and you're really good at that." And I was like, "I could do that. I'm gonna be in one of those VHS movies. And all my dreams are coming true." So I go out.
You're like that small town girl from Kansas that arrives in Hollywood
Yeah.
on a bus. Yeah.
And my
Just gets fucking bored out for
Yeah.
10 years.
And my butthole, that's the best thing, is it went numb like 5 years ago, so it doesn't
Right.
even hurt no more.
Calloused butthole.
It's just a
Oh.
big old,
It's like a 1940s catcher's mitt back
yeah,
there.
it is. It's like an orangutan's, you know? You ever look on Discovery Channel? That's what it looks like back there.
Bamboo. Yeah.
So I got in the big video, the Global Addiction. I made my debut, and then that's where I met Travis. And from there, we know the Nitro movies came out every year with the VHSs people were waiting in line for at the Zoomies. And I had a little bit a role in every one. I was just always doing something stupid, and
So he would just call you up and be like,
I
"Oh,
got
I want
shot-
you for another one."
yeah, I got shot in the face with a paintball gun right in the mouth.
Craig Godfrey.
Yeah.
Ow.
Son of a bitch. So just
Ow.
bad things, and I kept coming back for more. Like I said, I just kept showing up. Like you can't get rid of me. Sorry, I'm here.
Herpes.
And eventually they were like, "Well, shit. I guess we." It's like I was like the stray dog. They were like, "Well, if we keep giving him food, he's gonna keep." And
Right.
eventually they had to pay me.
Eventually.
So there's a huge lesson in there. It's perseverance, right?
Yes,
It's
yes.
a little bit of what would you say it? I guess
Show up and just take shots to the face.
yeah. It's like no ego, no job, too
Exactly.
small.
Yes.
Show up and just get fucking beaten down.
That's exactly what it is.
And then now your name resonates with that brand.
Yeah.
Like, these names
100%.
resonate with that brand. Like
Dude,
Right
that's
away.
That's actually why we call him Crum, because of his appearance in the movie, the DVD back. Which one was that?
Global Addiction.
Global Addiction. His appearance, his character was Willie Crum.
William Crum.
And,
He was a man that lived in the desert, had nothing in life except an old shitty motorcycle, and he was convinced he'd made it. It wasn't a far stretch for me to be that, because it was actually based on me.
Oh,
no
man.
job too big. I think that is it. Like,
Yeah, no job too small, no
yeah,
job too big.
Too small.
You know, it really comes, if you want to talk serious, no matter what you want to do in life, you got to eat shit for
Yeah.
years
Oh, yeah.
before you get any kind of traction in it. And if you're not willing to do that, you'll never make it anywhere in life.
That is like
Consistency.
that
Thank
is
you.
fucking gold.
Thank
man.
you.
That is fucking gold.
Yeah.
There are so many guys.
That is it.
There are so many guys that think that they're just gonna like, especially like military guys or you guys will ETS transition out of their job. And they're like, I'm gonna start this thing. They don't realize that they are literally going to be shoveling shit and eating shit sandwiches for years, man. And
Years.
and if you're not willing to do that, if you're really not willing to put in the hard miles, good luck. All I got to say is your parents better have a lot of money, and I hope you got a good relationship with them. Because that's the only way it's going to happen.
That's the
And-
thing. Like, one of my buddies was like, "Oh, you're so lucky." I go, "Dude, I started building in 2006. I didn't meet the team until 2013. Like, it took
Yeah.
that long."
Well, even as an owner, right? So when we get down to this, like here's a great example. JT and I hired a guy a couple months ago. We asked him for the same thing over and over again, right? And he wouldn't eat shit. He wouldn't come down off the pedestal and do what we were asking him to do. JT is the owner, walks back there, does it in 2 hours. And so we fired him. So it's like if you have an owner that has to come in and do your job because you just won't eat the shit and do it, and he has to come down and do it. Well, hey man, we're gonna make you obsolete, and we're gonna have to get rid of you. And I always say that the day that you see me doing your job is the day that you should be very afraid.
Afraid of your job.
Afraid.
That
As long if I'm not in your office or coming in telling you about your job, you got nothing to fear. The day that I walk in and go, I did these 4 things that I asked you to do, mod, and is the day that you need to be like
Looking for a
getting
new
ready
job.
to prepping that fucking resume.
Yep.
Like, here, I better
Prep
type
the
this up,
resume.
get it ready, because Evan's getting ready to put me on a boat, launch me into the river, and shoot arrows
that's
at
what
my
we need. We
shoot
need a-
arrows at my launch pad.
we need a trebuchet. That's the new that's the new firing.
Oh my God.
Sit in the trebuchet.
I think we should just do Viking funerals for dudes. Just like put them in canoes and like,
'em out.
hey, we're going to the lake today. Everybody should be fucking
I don't want
afraid.
to go to the lake.
What?
Hey, everybody, load up.
I don't
at the
wanna- I don't
bus.
know how to swim.
We buy a school bus. Everybody, load up in the school bus. We're going to the lake today.
Here's a
Oh
kid.
shit, who is it?
Here's a can of lighter fluid. You hold this.
That's what the younger generation I don't think understands, is that you can pick your job, but you don't get to pick your jobs when you're doing your job. Like,
Right.
there are shitty parts of every single job in the world. Like, you don't get to pick and choose. You say, like, this is generally what I want to do. And then, like, you eat the shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, just to give everyone a background
Eat the cat poop.
on Streetbike Tommy and myself, we're part of the Nitro Circus. It's a huge action sport, theatrical, heavy-duty performance show. Huge stunts,
Live
big
tours.
trips. We do multiple live
Movies.
tours, TV. And one of the things I do is I jump a goddamn wheelbarrow 50 feet through the air. You're going almost 40 miles an hour in a fucking wheelbarrow, and you go 50 feet in the air, like as far as guys jump on motorcycles.
in a wheelbarrow.
I do it
in a wheelbarrow.
every night.
That
Every
seems
night.
crazy to me.
It's horrible.
That seems like that's not even a shit sandwich. What that is, that's a diarrhea hot dog on fire.
I mean,
Ooh, hot dogs.
you can literally look it up on the internet.
That's
Wheelbarrow
horrible.
man jumping, and I jump a sofa couch. That's actually nice because it's kind of
Oh yeah,
soft.
I've seen that. I've seen
Yeah.
that one. Yeah.
So I get pushed down a 6-story ramp in a goddamn recliner and fly through the air every night in front of like 10,000 people. And my eyeballs are coming out of my face. I'm like, tonight might be my last night. And I
real
was
talk.
like, I want that little paycheck. I gotta pay that fucking mortgage. Go down the ramp. Go down the ramp.
Go down the ramp.
Go down
Go
the
down the
ramp.
ramp. Anything good coming from the live mod? Nothing.
But there is
Nothing.
so what Tommy and I are talking about is, you know, we get to travel the world, we get to see amazing things, we get access and unbelievable experiences. And part of the way we pay for that is by doing horrendous things that people don't want to do, but they want to watch other people do. And that's for me and Tommy to step up and go, all right, that's what I got to do to get my reward. I will do that.
That's the
Right.
payment in action sports, is that you know, if you get to a certain point, you know, your payment is life experience, like travel the whole world with your best friends, party your nuts off, and you know, get cool shit for free.
Yeah.
You know, but they don't like to write paychecks.
We're rich in experiences.
Yeah. The best
That's-
experiences.
That's one form of wealth, fellas. Like honestly,
It's
that's,
one form.
Yeah.
So is it my turn yet?
Yeah.
it's your turn.
Let's
Let's
get
hit
in.
it.
Let's
Do I
get
get-
in on that one,
Do
Crum.
I get to
Yeah.
tell my story?
Yeah.
Let's
Tell it.
introduce the rest of the world to Streetbike Tommy. For those of you that were not on the internet in 2006 when Tommy was the biggest internet sensation.
That's big. That's big. The
It's big.
most searched video in 2006.
It was big. It was
Yeah.
big.
That's huge.
yeah.
A man that's really lucky to be here with us. He's done more things that it looks like he was not going to survive, and miraculously,
That was somebody just commented. Oh my God, Streetbike Tommy's still alive.
That's fucked
That's
up.
awesome.
Oh man.
So essentially, in action sports at that time, they were doing all these big backflip variations on
foam pits were
motorcycles.
just invented.
They
It
had,
was, yeah.
They had a-
2007 was when Carey Hart did the first one. To dirt.
and it was equivalent of like when kids put mattresses on the floor and jump on them. They have something soft to land on. Well, they make these giant foam pits. They jump their motorcycles into them. Tommy was like, oh, "I'm gonna show Travis from. I'm crazy."
I'm gonna back
Yeah.
it up, man. Like dude, it started way before any of that.
Really?
Like, so like I was a local dickhead. Like, I mean, I dropped out of high school, like just was like known around town for being just a loose cannon, riding my street bike that had no tags, insurance, or license, like around town doing wheelies, running from cops. Like, this is real shit. Like, I was a local superstar. Like, I was like trying to impress everybody that I could, and I was like, I'm gonna be famous as shit one day. I knew it in my brain. I was like, I'm gonna be famous as shit. I'm gonna make so much money. It's gonna be awesome. And like, I'm just riding around town trying to catch as much attention with my street bike as possible. I mean, I had the thing wrapped in fur.
That's pretty legit.
And you know
That's
why it was
legit.
wrapped in fur? Because it's cheaper than paint. If anybody has a shitty motorcycle that has like scratches and shit down the side of it, all you got to do is go to Joann Fabrics, spray some 3M spray glue on that thing, and wrap it in $60 in fur, and it eats up all like the imperfections. Like, it'd have dents,
Look at that.
scratches,
Yeah.
and you look
See,
cool as
you
shit.
learn
'cause-
something.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you look cool as shit, but you,
Yeah,
No,
Yeah.
fur motorcycle.
I look cool as shit.
That's
It was
pretty cool.
tiger print, bro.
I'm in.
And so like, this is in the era of like BAM, CKY, and all that stuff, and like, huge fan. Like, that's all me and my friends did, was sit around and watch those videos, and we're like, dude, those guys are killing it. They're having a blast, and that's all we want to do. So I bought this little Sony action cam. It was like a Sony
Handycam.
Handycam, the high 8.
Yeah.
And
This is before POV.
yeah, and dude, we're just like, I had my friends in the trucks behind me filming me, or like, doing wheelies and stuff. Thought that was sick. And at this exact point in time, Jim DeChamp,
Shit.
the guy that's actually, he holds the world record for most one-handed claps in a minute.
It's true.
It's true. So at this point in time, he was Travis's roommate. And like, I'd always heard like Travis's name dropped because, he's from my town in Annapolis, but I'm from like a little smaller part of town outside of Annapolis called Shadyside.
Yeah.
And so Trav, was a big name. He's on TV, X Games, blah, blah, blah. And Jim DeChamp's his roommate, and he's dating a friend of mine. And he comes over to a house party. And like, all my friends were like, "Oh my God, Jim DeChamp is so cool. He does all these he's like fastest mountain biker in the world." He was like number 2 or 3 for a while for the fastest downhill mountain bike dude. And he comes over with this video, and he's like, all my friends are up his ass, like, impressing my friends. Like, I'm super jealous at this point. I'm like, man, fuck that. I'm crazier than this fucking guy. I'm cooler than this. Why are my friends? I'm whatever, man. So like, and this is like the Sharpied version of Nitro Circus 1. Like, it's like him and Travis have been working on it, and I'm talking shit to him the whole time. I'm like, dude, whatever. I do crazier shit than that. And like, if I had money, it's like, there's a million of me. You know what I mean? Like, every kid out there just like sits out from the sidelines and be like, if I had those resources, bitch, no, the fuck you wouldn't. You wouldn't do shit. But anyway, that was me. And Jim goes, all right, well, we're filming for Nitro Circus 2. Come over to Travis's house, and we're having a day where, you can win $1,000.
$1,000.
$1,000.
Which was like, I was like, get the fuck out of here. Like, so I'm 21, 22.
We didn't know they made that much money.
I was like, dude, that's $1,000. I'll do anything. I'll fucking do it. And like, invites me over to Travis' house. Yeah, well, $1,000 is $1,000.
Right. Got it.
Oh yeah.
So-
yeah.
I roll over to his house to do this film day because it was like this Pastrana Land competition that they were putting together to get footage. So basically, there was like probably 6 teams of 4, and at the end of the day, you had 24 hours, and whoever came back with the best footage, like everybody would vote, and whoever came back with the best footage, voted by everybody, would win the $1,000. So it could be anything from a naked chick doing jump rope to, what they do for a living, biggest, baddest trick, whatever. But if everybody agreed that was the best footage, you won $1,000. So I was like, all right, fuck it. I came over with a local team. My team was called Tom P and the Propane Carnival. So
Tommy P and the Propane Carnival.
we roll up, and I'm like doing wheelies down the highway, running from cops like I always do, and my engine actually blew up. you know, and before that, I took my everyday daily driver and ran it into a tree.
So Tommy is like, fuck this, I'm gonna show these guys how I get
Yeah.
down. Straps a pillow, duct tapes it to himself, plows his driving, the car he drives to work,
Every day.
into a tree, head-on collision, just to show these guys how badass he is. And he goes, you know what, I'm not gonna win with that weak-ass shit. So he goes and gets a street bike and is doing like 100 miles an hour passing cops with his tiger fur bike. The police are chasing him, he escapes, and he's like, that ain't enough. I do crazy shit. So he's like, I'm gonna do a front flip in that foam pit. It's safe. I'll fucking do it. Well, he comes in too fast and does a front flip over the entire foam pit and lands on his head.
Keep in
It's
mind,
amazing.
keep in mind, at this point in time, I'd never jumped anything in my life.
Yeah.
He missed the whole foam pit.
Like nothing. Like I'd never jumped a dirt bike. I'd never jumped a bicycle. Like literally, I'd never left the ground because gravity hates fat kids. Like this was like my big break, and I was like, I was not gonna. My first gear does 90. Okay, it was a Gixxer 1000 that was like all punched out, worked over. Like I'd done 200 miles an hour on this bike. First gear did 90, so I hit that ramp at probably 60.
Ooh.
And
Now, do you feel that was a little too fast?
now, but like, dude, at the time,
You wanted to get speed, man.
Yeah,
Look, you gotta get speed.
You didn't want it to be pussy.
Needless to say, he won $1,000.
I won $2,000.
Really?
Yeah, which I spent on a bottle of Louis.
A what?
Louis the 13th.
Nice.
So
Has anybody ever seen Tom Cruise cocktails?
that was
Yeah. And me and my friends drank it out of Dixie cups. That's a real story.
Oh yeah, that is a good.
That was
idea.
what you did with your
so
winnings.
Tommy
Yeah.
destroyed his motorcycle,
My everyday
destroyed
drive.
his car, and went to the hospital and had thousands and thousands of
It
dollars.
was $300,000 worth of bills because of
Oh, my
medevacs
God.
and I took a medevac, an ambulance to my medevac, and then spent 9 days in intensive care. And
Wow.
Did anybody visit you?
yeah, no, I had my friends brought me like dirty magazines and soda.
Yeah.
And the soda.
Like Sluthole
Yeah.
magazine?
Well, none of that.
Like
manhole.
dudes on dude.
None of that airbrush shit. Something nasty.
This
you
was
know?
before iPhones. There was no digital porn at your fingertips. You actually
Yeah.
had to manually get a piece of paper with naked chicks on it
Imagine what it would look like when it moves.
and be like, "Ooh, if my dick was down there." I know what that would happen if I could. It's imagination is what
Yeah.
it's called.
yeah, imagination.
It ended up being in like $300,000 in hospital bills.
Was that Obamacare?
No, that was back when you paid
You
for
actually
health
had to-
care,
had to
and
pay
it
for it.
actually worked.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have to pay for anything because I had health insurance.
You did?
that worked.
Wow.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah. I
Impressive.
It was a different time.
I'm sure they're
Yeah.
fucking pissed.
yeah, but hey, you know what? That's why you're in that game. I mean,
Wait, you're in a fucking helicopter? Why?
It's funny how we've progressed. We've progressed so much with these things, but digressed with our health insurance.
Yeah.
Like,
Our health
look
insurance
at what
is-
we have here, and then it's like,
I-
wait, if you would have done that today, that shit would have cost you $500,000.
Well, it would have cost me $5,000 because that's my deductible with Obamacare.
Oh yeah.
$5,000 is the deductible.
Let's go back to the fact that you actually spent all that time, energy, and effort, and you came out with $2,000. Do you think
But
that?
And
look
he
at-
bought a
but look at
bottle-
where he is right
bought
now.
a bottle of liquor.
Yeah, I
Look at where
did.
he is right now.
It was 100 years old.
If he wouldn't have done that, he would not be here at this table.
That's
right now.
the bigger
It's true.
picture. You are correct. I agree.
I don't know. I could be at this table, but I'd be hanging sheetrock because I'm a commercial builder by trade.
Are
So
you really?
Yeah, but
yeah,
like
I can. If you, me and Crum, we could fucking finish
that.
whole
No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
it shows it's straight up character. Like he said, they're having a contest. So I'm gonna make sure I win.
No, it's amazing.
Yes.
It's amazing. It's like that's dedication.
No, but so-
here's my
so
pillow.
Here's the
Fucking,
best part.
I'm either gonna die or I'm gonna win.
That was actually really like
Those are my fucking options.
that actually was truly what was going through my head. But the best part is like we had this premiere in Annapolis. Like so Travis rented one screen at our local movie theater.
Right.
And like I come in my wheelchair because I'm still all fucked up. I got broken shit. I got cadaver parts holding my knees together and shit. And I'm like wheeling it. I'm like super excited because I'm super famous now. And I made the silver screen. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
a movie star.
Hell
Going
yeah.
to a fucking
So
movie.
we sell out this one theater and like I don't know what's a movie theater hold like 100 people.
Sure.
Two.
So yeah,
Ish.
and like I'm living it up, man. I think I'm fucking Burt Reynolds or something, and I'm just killing it. And
Burt Reynolds? What are you fucking 60? Jesus, man.
Burt Reynolds slayed more pussy in his life than anybody I've ever heard of.
I was thinking I was like Charlton Heston or. I mean, I was like
John
looking it up, like I was
Wilkes
like Charlie
Booth?
Chaplin.
I was John
I thought
Wilkes
it was
Booth.
Charlie Chaplin in a fucking black and white movie. Jesus.
Oh my god, dude. Anyway,
So you're Burt Reynolds.
so
You're Burt Reynolds.
so after the movie, Greg Godfrey, the producer of this film, like he's a producer, big time producer.
Right down the street, Greg Godfrey.
yeah.
Guys down in Draper. Yep.
He approaches me, hands me his business card, and goes, "Hey, I'm Greg Godfrey. This is, I'm from Godfrey Entertainment, and I don't think you know what you have here. You know what I mean? Because he could see that I was vibing myself, And he's like, you could, you're no matter what, you're always gonna have this clip. You're gonna be that guy. People are gonna buy you drinks at the bar, and you can tell that story. You're like, oh, I'm that guy that overshot Travis Pastrana's foam pit, or you can take this ball and you can run with it." And I was like, huh? And he goes, "Here's my card. Call me if you want to do anything else." Because he could see that I was a loose fucking cannon. So not a week goes by. I call him up because I had this idea. I'm going on this cruise with like me and my bros, and we're gonna get fucked up and drink on this cruise ship, right? So I have this idea. I'm gonna jump off the side of it.
Good idea.
So I call him up. I'm like,
It's a good idea.
"Hey, Greg." Yeah.
Solid.
So I call up the office, and at the time, this receptionist Stacy, she picks up the phone. "Godfrey Entertainment, how may I help you?" And I just wasn't prepared for that. Like in my brain, Greg Godfrey was going to pick up, and I was going to talk to him directly. And I was like, "Is Greg Godfrey available?" And she was like, "Who's calling?" And I just didn't know how to like reference myself to Greg Godfrey, and I was like, "Tommy, this is Tommy, the guy that crashed the Streetbike Tommy," and like just kind of like rambling like that.
Yeah.
And Greg picks up, and he's like, "So you got a nickname now?" And I was like, "Sure. What is it?" And he was like, "Streetbike Tommy. It sounds good. I like that. We'll go."
Well, go with it, kid. I like it.
Look like that, kid. I'm gonna put your face on a boat, and we're gonna tell you that you're gonna jump a boat.
I'm going to take you out of these black and white movies there, Charlie.
Yeah. This guy.
I like it. He's got a good ring to it. Streetbike
Smokey the
Tommy.
Bandit. He's one of the greatest actors of all time.
Yeah.
Burt Reynolds, dude.
Burt Reynolds, man.
I
Look
can't
up.
believe Tommy took a fucking time machine and landed here, like from 1983. You were born in 1983,
I
probably.
actually was.
So let's get back on track. So Greg Godfrey's like, "Yeah, Streetbike Tommy, I like it, kid. I'll tell you what, I got $50 with your name on it. You give me
Yeah,
something
see?
good. Go and make something good for us."
see?
Yeah. So did he encourage this cruise jump?
So I was calling him so I could get a camera because like
Yeah.
at my time, my camera was
They weren't on phones yet.
So he sends me like a pretty decent camera. He's like, "All
There
right."
were no GoPros.
Right.
I tell him the story. I'm like, "I'm gonna jump off a cruise ship." He goes, "Fucking right, film it." So sends a
Perfect.
camera. My buddy, we get on this cruise, and I get shit faced drunk, and I talk to everybody on the cruise ship. I was like, "You ever heard of anybody, falling off a cruise ship and living?" They're like, "Yeah, sometimes,
Sometimes.
they die and they live. It's about
Sure.
50-50 basically. Like, I talked to people on the boat, talked to people working at the boat, and I'd made it up in my mind. I was like, well, if somebody lived, if I'm jumping off on purpose, I have to live, right?
He did some really good research on this.
Heck yeah. I mean,
I'm like on this cruise ship the last day, like, because it went down to the Bahamas and back up to Miami, and it was supposed to go continue to Fort Lauderdale where our truck was. Well, in Miami, there was a jet ski rental right next to the cruise ship, and I got my buddy. I rented him a jet ski so he could ride out and get like the ground angle. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
that
that
makes
sick
sense.
ground angle.
He was a young producer.
Yeah.
So my buddy gets out on this jet ski, right, and goes, me. Like he looks like a fucking ant because like I'm on the 10th deck.
Yeah.
oh, God.
And like he's like me, like he's like little ant dot just goes out into the distance, and he's like with a group. So I only see a group. I don't know which one's my friend, and they're like, I don't know, thousands of feet away from this boat.
Let's just say the footage wasn't shot that well.
So, but all of a sudden I see this one little dot break off. He goes, me, like towards the ship, and stops like halfway between where they were riding and the cruise ship. And I was like, I still wasn't sure if that was him or not. And I saw this little like looked like an arm go up, and I was like, that must be the signal. So I like haul off and I jump off the side of the ship, right? And I'm like, I never got a real good look at the side of the cruise ship. It kind of bumps out at the bottom, like
Is this how?
yeah, it comes out at the bottom. Yeah.
Well, I didn't see that until I was already off the side. So, and I'm like skimming the side of the boat. And I was like, not again, because I still had pins in my
Holy
foot
shit.
from the street bike thing. I still had pins in my legs. So like I push off the side of the ship, and little did I know that was the sun side of the ship. Like it'd been beaten by sun all day, and I burned my hands.
Holy
like
shit.
it just smokes my fucking hands.
How do I find this?
You look at God, it was in Nitro Circus 3. And so I'm like, that sends me into a little spin,
Sure.
and like my legs are now above my head,
Yeah.
and I side flop
Yes.
at the bottom, like I side flop, and like I had this whole thing work out in my head that I'm gonna jump from like 100 feet, so I'm gonna be underwater. So
Yep.
like I have to swim super hard to get back up to the top so I can breathe. But meanwhile, I'm just slapping the top of the water because I didn't fucking go anywhere. Like I'm just like, I'm already at the top of the water because I didn't sink at all.
Holy shit.
I mean, smack, like hand to God smack. And then I look up,
Trying to find
and I'm like trying to see my buddy because I'm off the shore of Miami in like 40-foot water, and I'm bleeding like crazy right now because I hemorrhaged my left eye, and this blood is like slurping machine coming out of my nose, and I'm like trying to hold the blood out, but it's just like creeping away from. I'm seeing this huge blood cloud, and I'm like worried about sharks at this point because my buddy's still fucking thousands of
shit.
feet away, and he's like riding over. He's like me, and he like comes and gets me. I jump out of the water so fast. I'm on the back of this jet ski, right? And then no bullshit. This is not. I'm not in, like a big ass like Coast Guard cutter, like a fucking ship.
Right.
Comes out of fucking nowhere like a ship, and it deploys this fucking Zodiac, and this Zodiac full of like little Coast Guard dudes like was like something with the vessel like follow us in. So we get and we
Hold on, they shot the 50 cal at you guys.
yeah. So they
That doesn't sound right.
no. There's this big ship that I'm getting ahead of myself. There's this big ship. And they light up the water. I mean, to me at the time they were
Right.
shooting at me, but it was like fucking yards and yards and yards.
Good God.
But like I think they were training or something.
Yeah.
They were shooting 50 cal at you because they wanted you to pull over, and you guys pretend like you didn't see the ship.
So
There's no ship here.
What ship?
that was actually. So I don't know if they thought I was an international terrorist or something.
Yeah.
but
that makes
like
sense. Jumping off a cruise ship.
they're like, why would anybody
Fucking
jump off a cruise
Navy SEAL insertion off a cruise ship.
This
Fucking
is
other
funny.
feet.
You're rolling down
Yeah.
this fucking cruise ship.
Yeah.
I want to see this.
I gotta see this so
Like,
bad.
how do we
He's
find
lucky
this?
he didn't die.
but
he literally jumped off a cruise ship, the belly sticks out, he realizes he's not going to make it, turns around, pushes himself up, gets his feet above his head, and hits water, explodes his face, and lived.
Yeah.
Amazing.
From like 100 plus feet.
Crawled on his-
Amazing.
Yeah.
And this is debut too.
No, but it wasn't. It wasn't even debut 2 because my buddy was so fucking far away from the ship. The footage turned out shitty as fuck. Like, dude, it looked like somebody just threw a
It was like a
dummy.
Bigfoot sighting.
Oh,
Like you
man.
could see what it possibly could have been, but you
So
weren't totally
lame.
sure.
Dude. But so it's like we follow this Zodiac in, right? And like we get up. I don't know if you've ever been on a cruise ship, but they have these huge, long, giant, like 3-4 block long concrete, piers. And like, so they walk us back to the ship, but like they had surrounded me with like local police, Coast Guard, and who the fuck else knows whatever. Then we were surrounded by like 30 people, and it was just me and my buddy, and he's like holding onto a backpack like it's his like a little baby, and he's like super scared because he's never really been in trouble. Like he's like that kind of kid.
Yeah.
And I'm just super proud, face all swollen shut, like blood all down my shirt, and I'm all rad, and everything's super quiet, and like we're just walking towards the ship, and like we get like probably within probably 50 feet of the ship, and I look up, and like at this time, word had spread across the ship that somebody had jumped off, so everybody had to come and see. So it's like lined with people like back in the day, like when cruise ships used to go out and like people used to
Yeah.
wave. It was like that. It was like an old timey photo. But like, so I like get like within like 50 feet of this ship, right? And everybody it goes from dead silent to like, I guess like one dude was like, woo! And fucking everybody erupted in this cheer. And I was like, dude, this is what I want to do with my fucking life.
It was an old timey photo, it was like the Titanic.
It was. Dude, it straight up was.
Charlie Chaplin and Burt Reynolds.
Fucking Charlie Chapman, Burt Reynolds, a fucking cruise ship. This is one of the greatest stories I've ever heard in my life. It's one of the greatest stories I've ever heard in my life. This is supposed to be a business podcast.
Meanwhile, we're over here like, what happened next?
Like, and that's how you
dude.
start a profession
And then
right
it
there,
wasn't
guys.
done. So this is at this point, I'm still in the cruise. They put us in like the infirmary or whatever, and they're seeing like to my wounds, and they get this Russian doctor that doesn't know shit. Like he goes, "What would you like for your face?" And I was like, "Fuck, I don't know, dude. Ibuprofen." He was like, "Will this work?" And he hands me like an 1800 ibuprofen. I was like, "Fuck yeah!" And like it kind of brought some of the swelling down. But then they had us interviewing with the local police, the Coast Guard, the FBI. Not even kidding, dude. I spent 4 hours doing interviews of like, you know, why did I jump off the side of the cruise ship?
He didn't. He fell.
I
Let's
fell.
let's get that clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, you fell.
No, seriously. For 4 hours, I told these people that I fell. And finally, the last dude was the Coast Guard dude, and he goes, "Look, is there anything that this ship needs to do to be safe? Like, was it the cruise ship's fault that you fell?" And I was like, "Fuck no, dude. I slipped. I was being a dick on the rail, and like, you know, I was trying to like wave to my friend who was trying to get video of me on the cruise ship, and I slipped and I fell." And he was like, "All right, good enough. Well, you can't stay on the cruise ship, but you can either go to jail or you can go to the hospital." And I was like, "Fucking hospital." So they stick me in an ambulance. They take me to the local
If
hospital.
you fell, why the fuck do you go to
why
jail?
would you go to jail?
Well,
Yeah.
so
Obviously, it was an accident.
well,
Yeah,
they were gonna.
obviously.
He was like, you can either deal with this, like stick to your, you know, I don't know. That's what the fuck he said. I don't know.
Because he knew you were full of shit.
Yeah. So I go to the hospital and they like do all these X-rays and shit, and they found this huge deposit of salt water behind my eye.
That seems fair.
And they were because like when I hit my eyelids just blew open and like all this water rushed behind my eyes.
Why don't you close your eyes?
Fucker,
it
they
seems
were
weird.
closed.
Just close your eyes. Like it's like prevent water from
I
getting in
just
your
want to
head.
see him flopping on the side of a cruise ship.
But
Ma, did you find this video yet?
it's on Nitro
Nitro
Circus
3.
3.
Nitro Circus 3.
And it's like
black and white and like has a little light circle around Bigfoot falling through the air. It's Tommy. And you're like, oh, the Loch Ness Monster is real. I think.
dude, and it, like
So you had salt water behind your brain.
yeah, but they were like, that's okay, it'll dissipate. So they stick me. They by this time it's like 2 a.m. and they put us outside and it's like Key West, you know.
Right.
And they were like, okay, you know, hospital's closed, go away, see ya. My car's in Fort Lauderdale,
Right.
so I had to take a cab from Key West to Fort Lauderdale.
This seems like to be a pattern with you because I've heard this story before.
Well, so I'm probably not going to tell that story.
Yeah.
I
Don't
don't
tell
know.
that story.
Yeah,
No.
that's a fucked up story.
So did you get any money for this one?
No.
Golly.
Well, I didn't honestly. I did so much stuff for the Nitro DVDs and stuff for the longest time, and I actually never made any money at all. Like they would pay for the trips. Like Greg, he was like, we can pay for your flights and your hotel and stuff, which means that I was sleeping in a hotel with 9 dudes. But like,
You guys would have loved it.
yeah,
Oh,
Black
you'd
Rifle
been
guys?
Yeah.
all about
Oh,
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There wouldn't be any sleeping going on.
We
Right
actually
there.
rent entire blocks
Yeah.
for rooms in hotels, but we only use one.
Yeah.
Just to keep up
give the aura.
appearances.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
They think
It's
that we're
team building.
Yeah. Then we just
Yeah.
bore each other.
Team
out.
building.
But
But
digging out.
so I actually didn't make any money until the Nitro show actually hit MTV, and that's when we
Oh,
first started
right.
making paychecks.
Oh, see?
And
Once
you know-
again, what's this all
Perseverance.
about? Perseverance. That's the name of the
Eating shit.
podcast. Eating shit.
Sometimes you have to jump off a cruise ship.
Sometimes you gotta put some salt water behind your eye. Sometimes when you take a time machine from black and white movies into fucking here and you're looking at Burt Reynolds, you gotta
Burt
jump
Reynolds
off a cruise
is a
ship.
wonderful actor.
He is.
Look up his movies;
It's
they're
the
the shit.
Titanic. They're all waving.
It's the Titanic. They're all waving at me.
Wow.
Like I tell you, I have been on a journey with this one. I've been on a journey, man.
I
we've
was
been,
enthralled.
Yeah. I didn't want it to stop.
I don't. I
It
didn't.
didn't.
either.
I got more stories.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to have Tommy back because
Yes.
we're like
Oh,
way
of
over
course.
time.
Yeah.
You guys are gonna be like,
Well-
what, dude? I only have a half hour.
Freaking A.
I thought
Thank
we-
you.
but-
Crum.
Weren't we,
What? What do you got?
We just scratched the surface on who we
we're
are.
gonna just have. We're just
We're
gonna
gonna have
have you
Tommy
back.
time.
Yeah,
It's
we're
gonna
gonna have
be called
Tommy
Tommy
time.
time.
We're gonna do like 3 episodes of Tommy time.
Yeah.
But we've
You
got
be here-
to
you gotta
wrap
be here
it.
to poke him.
Yeah,
like,
I can narrate it and bring it back into
Yeah.
As soon as my story
You're
starts
really good.
falling off, Crum comes in and saves the day.
Yeah.
Now we got to wrap it, and then we'll come back. We'll do a couple episodes of Tommy and Crum. I love it. It's fucking awesome.
Just get warmed up.
Crumb.
So let's
And-
just wrap this
and
up. How
Tommy.
do you make money in action sports?
You don't. Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
No, Nate Wessel's got it figured out.
Oh, you do real work and build something.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, do real work.
Yeah, okay.
Pick up a hammer, pick up a fucking screwdriver, pick up a tool belt, right?
Create.
Yeah.
Create.
Create. Yeah.
create.
Now, I mean, yeah, the internet now has probably changed that a little bit because
What
if
the
you
fuck is the intranet?
yeah.
Oh,
Is Burt Reynolds
we'll go
on it?
into that. All right, ladies and gentlemen,
All
for
right.
Evan Hafer, Streetbike Tommy, Crum, and JT, we are. Hold on, Mod. You leave
Hold
that
on,
out.
Monterelli.
We are out of here. Thanks, guys.
You guys.
Black Rifle Coffee Company, along with Arson Wave, would like to thank you for tuning in to Blackhearted. Have a great fucking day.